Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Hyundai Alcazar. This is the 7-seater. This is the diesel and you can press this button, hold it to turn on the car as well. Works with manual too. Let's straight away open the engine bay of this vehicle, and this is going to be really very quick because this is the diesel engine, CRDI 16 valve. Insertion right there feels very heavy to hold, but since I've already done a dedicated video of the Alcazar, I'm just going to be telling you what is different from the Creta. So first and foremost, the grille is different. It gets this sort of chrome treatment on it, stripes, whatever, pins, and sort of a skid plate at the front. Around the fog lamp you get the chrome surround, but the indicators are very low placed and they are not even LEDs. Everything else on this car happens to be LEDs. At the front at least LED DRL, and from the side you realize that this car is of course longer by 200 mm, the wheelbase is longer by 150 mm, and the wheels are 18 inches instead of 17 inches on the Creta. Meanwhile, it also has a 360-degree parking camera, and it also projects, yeah that's right, it also projects the Hyundai logo on the floor. Now here you see there is the front camera, which is again missing on the Creta. Meanwhile, coming to the rear, again certain things are different. Actually a lot of things are different at the rear because the tail lights are very different. The rear end is very different on this car, and you get dual exhaust pipes as well. Rear parking sensors, of course. The sort of a skid plate. The boot is actually decent with all the 3 rows up, but no electric tailgate unfortunately. And it's easy to recline this seat. You just pull it, push, and there it goes. You can do that very easy, but the seat is kind of reclined right now, so this won't go completely down. You obviously get cup holders at the rear, AC controls at the rear as well, along with USB sockets on both the sides too. Not really a proper 7-seater because the last row of seats is best for children, which I'll show you in a bit. It's easy to access the last row of seats. Okay, why is it locked the car? Yeah, we're going to unlock the car from here. Car is unlocked. Check this out. Okay, easy to tumble the seat. Here you go, and there it tumbles. That's how easy it is. But there's not much space for an adult in the last row, so best avoided. Best for children actually. Let's push this back, but it's such easy operation to actually move the seat. Recline angle is actually very nice. This is very soft. There's good amount of space on offer, and there's a tray here as well, which is very nice. In fact, this is a very comfortable car in the second row. Good amount of headroom, good amount of knee room, decent amount of under thigh support, and of course there's a tray right there along with this slot so that you can put your iPad or whatever. Okay, there is a center armrest, so this is a proper 5-seater with space for a lot of luggage as well. Door pockets are also large enough. That's actually very nice and impressive. However, Hyundai's also added a lot more features inside the cabin of the Alcazar when compared to the Creta. First and foremost, you get this all new 10.25-inch instrument cluster, but before that, electric seat adjust obviously, which is there in the Creta as well. And here we are straight inside. Let me turn on the air conditioning. Okay, air conditioning is a chiller. You get air conditioning on all the 3 rows. This is a 10.25-inch screen. This is a 10.25-inch screen, and this is fantastic because you know what? It's got multiple themes. Yeah, there are 4 themes on offer. They are so amazing, but you cannot pair these themes to drive mode because it doesn't get drive modes. Yeah, there are no drive modes in the manual. However, there is an electric parking brake, auto hold function, and driver rear view monitor, which I'll show you in a bit. That is the driver rear view monitor. It obviously gets a 360-degree parking camera, and you can obviously zoom in, and zoom out, and multiple views for this as well. So it's a very slick system in that sense, and this is a fantastic screen. It doesn't get ventilated seats. Yeah, this is now the top end variant. Glove box is decent size, not big enough, but it's cool function, and it obviously gets air purifier along with storage space below the front center armrest. Seats are actually pretty nice. Overall quality could have been slightly better. A lot of hard plastics here. Obviously auto dimming inside rear view mirror, connected car tech, Blue Link, 60+ connected car features. There is, oh my god, there are sunglasses here for me. Thank you so much. There's a mirror. There should have been a light there. There should have been a mirror and a light here. It should have had one touch down for all the power windows. It only has it for the driver's side, unfortunately. Let's open the sunroof of the car, and you see it's a massive panoramic roof which brings in a lot of airy feeling. You have to press it properly, otherwise what happens now, you just end up opening, like all the time you end up opening both the sun blind as well as the sunroof. This brings in a lot of airy feeling inside the cabin. This car is loaded with a lot of features. Specifically speaking, you would never ever want for more because it's got a Bose sound system as well. And I mean, I have nothing to nitpick honestly because there's so many features on offer. The maps are also very nice indeed. Just check the map. Okay, really pretty impressive resolution, and the instrument cluster is fantastic. It obviously has audio controls on the steering wheel along with cruise control, flat bottom steering wheel. This is for automatic headlights, and this is for the wipers. The wipers work really well. Plenty of spray on offer. Honestly, this is very loaded indeed, but slightly more features would have never hurt anybody. Like I already told you, it should have got an electric tailgate for sure. A mirror here along with the light, one touch rolling of the power windows as well. That's a traction control button. This is engine stop start system. Sorry, engine stop start button. Doesn't get a stop start system. It doesn't need it because this is obviously pretty fuel efficient. You got a wireless charging pad here. The 6-seater version also gets a wireless charging pad at the rear with this proper center console. Isofix child seat mounts, and you know what? You got sun blinds here. Yeah, there are sun blinds here to cut the sun out. Light placement on the top. Yeah, I kind of like the way Hyundai is offering more and more features on its car. But how's the diesel to drive? Because that is actually the pick of the segment for me. Let's get going. But before we get going, let me show you another very cool feature. Okay guys, if you're on headphones, remove them right now because this car has got, you guessed it right, 64 colors for the ambient lighting. This is so Mercedes-Benz. And another very cool feature is the fact that it's got blind spot monitors. Okay, the camera actually displays in the tachometer or the speedometer depending on which indicator you give. This is also a super cool feature. Only thing is it tends to hide the tachometer and the speedometer at times. This is also very cool indeed. I like it. In fact, let's do one thing. Let's turn off the car. The button is there, Faisal. Where are you searching? Okay, there it makes this noise. It has this welcome noise as well as the goodbye noise. And yeah, I mean, okay, let's do one thing. Let me open the window so that I can show you the remote start function using the key of the vehicle. There's the key. Oh the god, this air purifier makes a lot of noise. And this full swipe up, it doesn't. You saw the swipe up? Okay, I'll show you the swipe up again. Check this out. Okay, there it does a complete swipe up, which is again very satisfying. Let's shut this at the moment. And there, you know, these circle displays actually is doubling up for every other information, like if a door is open or something of that sort. Okay, keep quiet now, don't make noise. Let's try and turn on the car using the key. Okay, here we lock it and we press this button, the hold button. Okay, sometimes it takes time. Yeah, there it is turning on. Yeah baby, the car is turned on using the key, although I don't understand the real function of it because you're going to be nearby to have the range of the key to do it. Obviously you can do it with BlueLink using the mobile phone application as well. Anyways, that's an old Hyundai. This is a new one. They have come a long way, changed dramatically, added more features. Cars are becoming more comfortable, more smooth, more refined. But let's get driving right now. We are all set to go, which means turning off the rear AC, turning off the front AC, turning off the complete air conditioning, turning off traction control as well into first gear, driver rear view monitor on, and we are going to rev the motor. Hazard light off, revving the motor, rev still almost 3000 RPM. Plenty of wheel spin on offer. Yeah, plenty of wheel spin as such. Turn on the wipers as well. You can see this. That is fantastic. You know what? It actually takes that space for the speed warning, but once you're above 120 kilometers per hour, the tachometer completely disappears. However, if you turn on the monitor because of indicators, it will actually show you the monitor other than the fact that it will just hide reduced speed. That's actually cool enough. Okay, driver rear view monitor, here it is. So you see, performance is actually similar to the Cretas. However, this car is actually slower by half a second because it weighs around 80 kgs more than the Creta because it's bigger in terms of size, longer and stuff like that. However, this 1.5 litre diesel engine produces the identical 115 PS of power, which comes in at 4000 RPM. Meanwhile, the torque output happens to be, well, 250 Newton meters at the rather low 1500 RPM, which peaks out at 2750 RPM. You see, the engine is very tractable. Here we are into 6th gear. In 6th gear, just imagine, the pool is so nice. It's actually sunny and it's still raining. That's kind of weird. So yeah, it's very tractable a motor. Even in 6th gear at like 80 kilometers per hour, step onto the throttle, it will pull decently ahead. So yes, the engine is very nice, very refined, super smooth, only gets vocal past 3,500 RPM, super tractable, super drivable. There's no lag as such to speak of. The turbo lag is well contained and it actually gets a nice push from around 2000 RPM and then power starts tapering off from 3,500-4,000 RPM and there's nothing really in the top end. However, I will shift to 3rd gear right now. Here we are into 3rd gear, whacking open the throttle. It actually goes all the way to 5,000 RPM where the red line lies for this motor. So this diesel engine gets the job done. It is the most efficient engine in the Alcazar lineup, this manual. I think ARAI is around 21 kilometers per liter, but in the real world it should return somewhere between 11 to 16 kilometers per liter, making it decently efficient as well. Now you see, it becomes quite vocal. It is hit its red line in 3rd gear and it's telling me to shift to 5th gear, but we are just going to shift to 4th right away. The gearbox is really smooth, really refined, and the clutch is also on the lighter side. So it's actually a joy to use this transmission. Very nice indeed. And it's got rear discs as well. So braking performance is nice, although because of the soft suspension, there's some amount of nosedive under heavy braking. Here we're going to stop right now. And you see, yeah, little bit front end dive. But for the most part, everything feels so refined. Change the cluster mode into 1st gear, revving the motor. it loves to spin the wheels. Of course, it loves to spin the wheels. Now, the suspension is obviously calibrated more towards comfort. It is on the softer side, which lends it absolutely fantastic ride quality. For the most part, you don't feel anything inside the cabin. That is the level of smoothness, and they have gone 1 inch bigger on the wheel when compared to the Creta, which actually bodes well for the Alcazar because it's able to handle bigger potholes with that much more ease. However, really big potholes do ruffle the car. It has a longer wheelbase than the Creta, and high-speed stability is also fantastic in this vehicle. It feels glued to the road, although there is body roll when you try to corner. There is body roll. There's quite a lot of body roll. So in that sense, it could have been better. But then it's not a car for handling as such. It's more about comfort, and it does its job pretty well in that regard. Now, this engine is not as powerful as the petrol version, of course. However, it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 12 seconds. What I really like is that the steering offers confidence. It's direct, but then it doesn't have much feel or feedback. Feels very artificially weighed as such, and then also feels lifeless. So it's a steering which most people will like who don't enjoy driving. But if you enjoy driving, you're not going to really enjoy the steering wheel because it's not a steering wheel which inspires you to push hard, but then neither is the chassis, although now it has got 75% high strength steel in order to be rigid. Still not really a driver's car in any sense of the word. That said, this combination of a nice manual gearbox along with a punchy diesel engine gets the job done. I think they should have offered a more powerful diesel engine, a bigger diesel engine, but then efficiency would have gone for a toss for sure. So, I mean, I'm fine and I'm okay with this diesel engine. I think it gets the job done for sure. Overall, I think the balance is more towards, of course, ride quality and comfort. And its rival is right in front of us, the Hector Plus. It says internet inside, and those dynamic swipe indicators actually look quite cool. We're going to put the handbrake so that I can actually change the theme. We're going to come to C theme C, yeah, whatever that is. Yeah, handbrake down, and off we go. It is not getting all those features which are there in the automatic as such, like hill hold and stuff like that, but it doesn't need it. Why? Because the manual guys don't need all this. They do everything on their own, right? Here we are into first gear. I'm going to rev the motor, revving the motor, revs till 3000 rpm, and yeah, a lot of judder. And that judder is because there's so much torque, it overwhelms the chassis somehow. Into third. Actually, what I really enjoy about Hyundai cars is that the ease of driving. The steering is so easy to twirl. It's an absolute, easy job to drive this car. So in the city, it excels brilliantly. In spite of the size, it's 4.5 meters in length. It's actually easy to twirl, park and maneuver this car. And that Hector Plus seems a bit bigger in terms of size and not as easy to drive as the Alcazar. So one up for Alcazar in that regard. What we're going to do, we're going to obviously stop. Okay, look at that. You can't see much because it's raining, so that blind spot camera has some amount of water right there. But these cameras are super duper awesome, very functional, very useful. Only thing is the position is such, you can't see the speedometer at times, but when you put that, you see a digital readout. Even for the tacho, there's immediately a digital readout telling you exactly what is the RPM in terms of digital and speed as well. So yes, certain good things for sure. We're just going to change the direction now. We're going northwards, I believe. Yeah, tire pressure monitor, plenty of features. Like even when you drive, you're like, a lot of features on this car, because it's all about the equipment, and that's where Hyundai is really excelling. Now you can also get this car with a 6-speed automatic gearbox, which is a torque converter unit, which obviously gets all the bells and whistles which are there in the petrol automatic as well. That said, Hyundai is actually not offering a 7-seater petrol. Yeah, a 7-seater petrol automatic is not available. I think they've decided that consciously so that they don't, cannibalize the Creta. But I'm sure a lot of Creta buyers are going to be jumping towards the Alcazar for sure. Performance from the brakes, really very nice. Little soft in terms of, okay, that is a rumbler strip which is making a lot of noise. So yes, insulation could have been better. We're going to change the theme again. And this is my favorite theme. Okay, handbrake up, dear. We're going to get to the theme D. The cubes are so freaking cool. Handbrake down. Driver rear view monitor on. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. And that is the BMW 530i. Hyundai is offering this Alcazar in 18 freaking variants. Yeah, that's right, 18 variants, but there's petrol and diesel, both in manual as well as automatic. The range actually starts around 19.53 lakhs for the base and goes all the way for the top end to 24.44 lakhs. Yes, 24.44 lakhs for the top end diesel automatic 6-seater with all the bells and whistles, and it's obviously an automatic. Yeah, all the prices are on road Mumbai. This one is the mid-level trim, so this is priced at 22.22 lakhs on road Mumbai. So yeah, the pricing is slightly, the price is obviously slightly more than the Creta, but yeah, it is very aggressive when you compare it to the Safari as well as the MG Hector Plus. However, that said, those cars feel a little bit more SUV-ish to drive. This one feels more, I would say, comfortable and easier to drive. But you know what, as a package, the Alcazar is fantastic, and diesel is definitely my pick. I think it's a fantastic engine. I was worried, will it be able to lug around the additional weight of the Alcazar, but it does a decent job. You really don't feel the lack of oomph from this engine. Now, of course, that 1.6 litre diesel engine which Hyundai had earlier was absolutely sensational. That is gone long back, unfortunately, due to BS6 emission norms, and power delivery is now more linear. There's no kick in the pants feel. It's more linear. It's not something which is going to put a massive smile on your face, but it is very slick, very fast, and definitely gets the job done, both in terms of drivability, performance, and of course fuel efficiency as well. So guys, this is my vlog of the Hyundai Alcazar. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye.